fall of 87, I went to Duquesne University. It's a Catholic school in Pittsburgh. I only went one semester, had a 3.2 blood alcohol level. Anyway, and if you don't know who John Holmes is, he was the biggest star, kind of what Mark Wahlberg is based on in Boogie Nights, right? Which, incidentally, Greg made the penis for Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, wow. I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember, and he went on Howard Stern. Howard Stern had him on, but he brought the fake penis into Howard, he put it on, and Howard was like, oh my God, this would be so awesome. And
Hey, welcome to Radio Labyrinth. We have a couple of guests. Returning guest, we'll tell you about in a second. He's been on the show a bunch of times. But a guest who hasn't been on the show that we're looking forward to speaking with is comedian and television host Frank Nicotero. A familiar face from countless comedy stages and TV screens. You've seen him cracking wise on Street Smarts. And now he's brought his energy and humor to the AMC Shudder series, which just wrapped up, Guts and Glory. All episodes are now streaming. And I suggest you watch the show, where horror meets hilarity in the most unexpected ways. We're also joined by a friend of the show, who I mentioned at the beginning, but didn't say his name, contestant Josh Bad Incantation Warren. Welcome to the show, Radio Labyrinth. Step on in.
The barn looks haunted as hell.
This barn looks like something that's owned by like a inbred serial killer family.
Are they alive?
I don't think so.
Well, we're talking Guts and Glory, which is a fun show, and really nothing like it out there, blending reality television with the horror genre, and also it was quite amusing as well, so there's comedy involved. How did you get involved in that?
Well, I know a guy. I knew a guy. Yeah. So Greg had told me about the idea like a year ago. And he said, he goes, I think you'd be really good as one of the contestants. And but then as it started going farther along, and he was mentioning the idea of me participating, people knew who I was. And as humbly as I can say, he said a few people would be like, well, people are going to know that, might know him from Street Smarts or stand up or some on the internet, and it's going to just be weird. So Greg had this idea in the 11th hour. He's like, I'm going to make you the producer. So if anyone does say, oh, wait, I kind of know who you are, I can be like, yeah, I mean, and I have produced a lot of game shows in the past and other shows. So it would fit. I go, yeah, I'm a stand up, but I'm also, I produce a lot of stuff too. So it would work. And it was so much fun because we got together and we rehearsed for a long time, for like a week with just Greg and going through the choreography, which is what it was. And the pressure was on me. Greg's like, he's like, if you screw this up, it screws everything up. He's like, no pressure. But the choreography to lead them through like the hospital or when they got off the bus to bring them to the campsite, there were all these beats that I had to get right. I had Greg and other producers in my ear, but still it was, it was a dance.
But it looked like it all came together quite well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, Greg huddled everyone together before. He goes, look, this is either going to work or I'm going to fall flat on my face on this. And, I think it worked. I think we knew after the first couple of days, we're like, okay, we got some here. But then we realized that the contestants, some of them are like, wait, what's going on here? So it was a ton of fun. Shooting in Atlanta in the forest that, where they did The Walking Dead and everything. It was a lot of fun.
We could start off at the beginning, being cousins with Greg Nicotero.
Right.
One of the biggest names in horror.
Yeah.
What was that like growing up with him? And was he the monster kid in the family?
Well, my dad was in an early George Romero film called The Crazies. My dad, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie, but my dad played the sheriff. He was he played the deputy. He was Deputy Shade. So he was, my dad was a huge radio personality in Pittsburgh and got to Romero and got this part. And actually, my dad actually had a homemade camera and he shot some footage on the set of The Crazies. So there's this guy. Do you guys know Lawrence? He's a big horror guy. I can't think of his last name. They're putting together a Crazies DVD and he contacts me. And he says, hey, do you have any stories or did your dad have any photos? They said, I have a homemade film. He's like, what? So I sold them that. I gave them, it was like $500, but they put it on the Blu-ray, and it's Romero on set directing, which no one knew existed.
Wow.
So it was really cool. But so my cousin, Greg, they were in Italy on a family vacation, and George Romero was eating at a restaurant, the same restaurant they were. And he went up to him and said, my name's Greg Nicotero. My Uncle Sam, and they're like, he's like, of course he knew who he was. He's like, look, I'm a huge monster fan, Night of the Living Dead, etc. And then somehow he put him in touch with Savini, or Greg got in touch with Tom Savini and started hanging out with him and stuff. But I mean, Greg would make movies in the backyard and stuff. And my dad, my uncles were huge monster movie fans. My Uncle Chuck and my dad. And they got Greg in on that. Now, Greg's dad was a doctor. I mean, he liked that stuff, but he was, he was busy saving lives. And my dad was a DJ, actor, smoked weed. So he got Greg into all that, not everything, but all the legal stuff. But so Greg has mentioned in articles, how much my dad inspired him. And we moved to LA in the mid 70s my dad was out here to act and more so write. But my dad befriended Wolfman Jack, and Wolfman Jack would get 3/4-inch copies of movies, and Greg's family had like the first VCR, like a 3/4-inch, and he'd sent him Jaws and he'd sent him movies so Greg could watch them. And then when I moved to LA for stand-up in mid 90s, I lived with Greg for 3 years. I mean, so we're more like brothers than cousins, really. So
yeah, I have cousins like
that. Josh Bad Incantation Warren has joined us.
Yeah.
Josh,
there he is. Going back to your question, but yeah, growing up with Greg, there was movie posters. My dad got him started on movie posters. It's 420 in Vegas, Josh, by the way, if you want to know. And my dad got him started on movie posters and Fangoria. My dad would get them and send them to Greg. So, Greg started and went to Westminster College, about an hour outside of Pittsburgh. It's Amish country. And he was going for pre-med, and then he came home, told his dad, he's like, I think I'm going to go work for Tom Savini. Didn't go over very well, but it worked out.
It seemed to work out, yeah. So he was doing that, and you're out in Los Angeles. How did you get in show business? I mean, is it just something you say, well, Dad does this, I want to do it too?
Yeah, I mean, I was the class clown 3 out of 4 years, and loved watching stand-up back in the day. I had a VCR and HBO, had a new concert every month. So Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, George Carlin, the Dangerfield specials. I would just watch them and play them and do them over and over. I had a notebook that I was starting to write jokes in when I was like a senior. So I graduated high school from North Allegheny in 87. Then in 88, or fall of 87, I went to Duquesne University. It's a Catholic school in Pittsburgh. I only went one semester, had a 3.2 blood alcohol level. Anyway, so I didn't re-up around Christmas. My mom and dad they were going through a divorce. They're like, did you register for classes? I'm like, I'm going to take a semester off. Well, that May, I kept calling the Funny Bone in Pittsburgh, like, I want to be a comedian. How do I be a comedian? So one day they called me back. They're like, look, we have this competition, White Mountain Cooler, which was kind of like what White Claw is back in the 80s. They're like, we have this open competition. Come on down. So I called my sister. I'm like, bring my notebook over to work. I was working at Greg's brother's Jim Nicotero, owned a card store, like greeting card store. So I thought I had to go on stage that night. So I'm looking at all my jokes, Michael Jackson jokes, Elephant Man jokes, John Holmes jokes. I get down there. They're like, no, you can do next week if you're not ready. So I went up my first time on stage and did great. And then the second time, not so great. But I was hooked. So I was doing stand-up at 19, and it was during the comedy boom where every pizza place and bar was doing stand-up. So I was getting on stage 4 or 5 a night. So I was working at a record store, National Record Mart, making $3.35 an hour. So it was $60 a week, or do stand-up and get paid under the table a couple $100 a week. It's a no-brainer. So right. I told my parents, let me do this for a little bit this summer, and we'll see in college. And then neither one of them went to college, so they were very supportive. My dad being in the arts, with radio and writing and stuff. Thank you, Corinne. So anyway, so I just hit the road, and I was middling and, in clubs that I wasn't old enough to be in legally. So, so I hit the road hard, early 90s, and then, big fish in the little pond in Pittsburgh, and Greg was already living in LA, and he's like, come on out. So that's how that started.
Now, what station did your dad work for?
He worked at the AM station. It was, WBVP in Beaver Falls, which was near Evans City, where the Crazies took place. And then he was on a lot of stations in Pittsburgh. WJAS, which was the music of your life. He had like the number 2 morning show was his last radio job, but he bounced around the dial a lot.
I know.
In LA, we're on KHJ, KFI. He was doing spots work out here in LA. I'm in Vegas now, sorry. And writing jokes for Wolfman Jack on the Midnight Special. So, being a comedian was encouraged, not discouraged, which was nice.
That is great. And I love
that's awesome.
Wolfman Jack was a hero of mine in the 70s, and by that time he wasn't even on the radio anymore, was he? Well, maybe through the 80s. No, he did a stint on WNBC when Howard was there.
Oh, did he really? WNBC.
Left and
one, yes, because of Soupy Sales, Wolfman Jack, Howard, and I. What a lineup.
He talks about Soupy Sales to this day, Howard.
Yes, he does. He
so
does.
Bitter.
Radio Labyrinth is also brought to you by the Punchline Comedy Club. The Punchline Comedy Club in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Tucked inside the legendary Landmark Diner, the Punchline remains Atlanta's longest-running premier comedy nightclub, where you can get a huge slab of cake or pancakes to satisfy any cravings you have while you laugh. Coming up at the Punchline, on the 18th, you have Andrew Packer and Mark Anthony Singoga. On the 19th, Maddie Chimber. And then on the 20th through the 22nd, it's Josh Sneed, who we hope will do the show. And then kicking off December on the 4th and the 6th, it's Erica Rhodes. And on the 6th of December, Stephen Taylor and Lou Ferris. And then on December 10th, Dominic Pupa. So again, go to punchline.com for tickets and information and all the upcoming shows. And as always, we post every week on our Patreon page. And I do understand why a lot of people aren't going there, because we didn't post there for a lot. And by we, I mean me. But I have been keeping up with it. And I posted again. So this is Punchline giveaway number 3. We had 2 people, ALB1974, who says Nate Bargatze is his favorite comedian. And then Kevin Jackson says Sam Kinison or Shane Gillis, if you want somebody who's alive. So we're going to do the coin flip. Lizzie, you'll be Kevin and you call it in the air. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Tails.
Heads it is. Sorry, Kevin. Entering every week. You'll win it.
Sorry, Kevin.
But ALB1974, I don't know your name because it's not on your profile, so I'll find out and then we'll get your passes to the Punchline. So, Josh, tell everybody how you ended up doing on this season of Guts and Glory.
Am I allowed to reveal it? You know, you're a producer, Frank. So
I know, no. All the episodes have aired, haven't they?
You can tell me what I'm allowed to say.
Yeah, they're all available. I think we can spill the beans on everything. I've been so afraid to talk about anything. I did something else, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't. What do you know about me? What do you know about Josh and Julia? I'm like freaked out because I don't want to screw it up. Because Greg, I did an episode of Creep Show, and I put a link out so people could watch it. And AMC freaked out. Their lawyers called Greg. Greg goes, "Dude, are you serious?" I'm like, "A friend did it. I didn't do it." By the way, it's a great episode. The Christmas episode. It's the Shapeshifters Anonymous. I'm a were-boar. I turned into a pig. And that was
they got auditioned for that role.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I guess I'm a Nepo baby on that one. But I did audition too. I did. I put myself on tape. But yeah, that was a blast. We shot that during COVID. I think it was like September of 2020. 2020. Yeah, 2020. I was a blast. But that episode, yeah, I put a link out so people could watch it, and I got reprimanded. So that's why I was very tight-lipped about what I don't want to say the wrong thing about Guts and Glory.
Well, I died.
Alistair was so mad, my 8-year-old son. He threw the remote.
Well, that's hilarious.
Oh, Josh was so good, man. I told him after the first episode, what was the line you said that I sang you how funny it was? Oh, shit. What was it?
That's some Predator type shit?
No, it's one more. Oh, I'd have to go back and look. Damn it.
I mean, when you were talking, you had good lines, but you were also funny when you weren't talking.
Yeah, his sit-down stuff. It was something he said. It was so fun. He's naturally amazing. And I remember all the chat rooms were like, well, he's definitely like a contestant. Like, he had
not an actor. Yeah.
Yeah, he had them all full. He was so natural. Josh, I thought every day, Josh and I would look at each other, because, I'm not supposed to know them.
Yeah.
Right? And we had rehearsed for a week and spent time together for a week, for the whole day. So when I'm meeting them, I'm meeting Josh and Julian and Mingus and stuff. And it was just like, I had to, but there were times when people wouldn't be around. We look at each other and be like, oh my God. It was like, holy shit, this is fun. So yeah, it was a unique experience. Like you described. I mean, the concept we knew was far-fetched, but I think we executed it. Seems like people really enjoyed watching him. And Josh was so good.
The Reddit people are cracking me up.
Me too.
Yeah, I was sending him like screen grabs. He's like, "Where is this shit?" And he's like going on. But everyone loved Josh. I mean, you were so good on the show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, he was my favorite, not just because he's my friend, but he was that good on the show. And we'd get so excited on Tuesday nights.
I played so dumb while actually on the show itself. It was so much fun to like.
I know, and it was so funny when somebody would be like, "Oh, he's not the brightest bulb in the pack." I'd be like, "Oh, but he is, though."
Exactly.
When you know somebody that's doing that and they're on a show like Guts and Glory, it's just so much fun to read those comments because I know Josh. I know that he's not a moron, and I know that he's doing a role and also being on this show. So it's just fun. That's one cool thing I like about modern TV is you have that instant ability to take all that, the quote water cooler talk, but it's all there. It's right there with people chatting about it on wherever.
I mean, hindsight's 2020, but I would have loved it if it was like something like instead of saying the completely wrong words, it's like I said them wrong. Instead of just being like, oh wait, this has got to be it. Necto.
Were there any points where you almost gave away the early on with like, helping you guys down the truck or like with Julian and Julia, so confusing. Like in the back of our heads, we were also afraid to be like, oh, hey, good. Like, no one made a mistake that I can remember, right? Early on.
Not that I know of. It wasn't until like, after Lucian died, which, God rest his soul.
Oh, Lucian.
Like back at the Airbnb or whatever, they started questioning, like being like, I wonder if people like, if somebody is in this as an actor, like, I wonder if this is just like a job for them or if they're just like, I can't believe I got to hang out with these people. And like at times I was like, man, I feel really bad because I like all the people that are on this show. I was like, it's not just a job.
Oh, I hate it once we started shooting because I couldn't really talk to you guys anymore because we had so much fun leading up that week.
Yeah, I thought you were awesome when you had to call out Julian.
That thing, that was the thing Greg put in my head. He's like, all right, this is it. This is the first shot. You get one shot at this. You have to be natural and that you bust her. Now, she was supposed to have the phone. Remember, originally she was supposed to have the phone by the campfire and it would slip out. Like, it was just like, well, how would I see that off camera when it's so dark and we're by the fire? And I think we pulled it off well. I think she did great when she runs away and I'm so distraught and everything. So I felt like that was the first time I really had to be distraught since my appearance in The Wishmaster as pharmacy customer number 2.
That's your wish. Welfare checks, food stamps.
I want to hear the Elephant Man joke.
All right, you got to remember 1988. So it was.
We do.
Right, exactly. John Holmes had just died. And if you don't know who John Holmes is, he was the biggest porn star, kind of what Mark Wahlberg is based on in Boogie Nights, right? Which, incidentally, Greg made the penis for Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember. And he went on Howard Stern. Howard Stern had him on. And when Howard Stern would complain about the lighting on Walking Dead, he's like, get Greg Nicotero or whatever, however you pronounce his name. I want him on my show. And in the back of my head, I'm going, Gary Dell'Abate. I'm like, do they not have a database that they can search his name and know that he was on the show like in at 94 with the fake. I was shocked that Gary didn't say, like, wait a second, he was on the show. But he brought the fake penis into Howard. He put it on, and Howard was like, oh, my God, this would be so awesome. And, yeah. So what was I talking about?
John Holmes.
One of the jokes was John Holmes died. And, he had died, and he had allegedly slept with 14,000 women. And I'm like, oh, my God. There's a bone Michael Jackson should have bought instead of the elephant. So he'd be in his videos and he'd be dancing around. Oh, hey, I am bad. I mean, that was the gist. I was 19 and very young. So, and I also did Spuds McKenzie jokes. I mean, it was
Spuds McKenzie.
Oh man, I loved that dog.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was, I can't remember. Oh, it was the crucifix. It was Robin Leach did the voices. So I did, it was a lot of weird stuff.
Because some of our listeners might remember who he is.
Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. My bit was like, haven't they done, oh God, I haven't done this in 30 years. They've done so much with Spuds McKenzie. He's always, what's the next commercial going to be? Here we are at the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. No, it's Spuds McKenzie. And he's coming down to party with his disciples or something like that.
That joke's not in bad taste, right?
Going to hell for it anyway. But that's the first time I've thought of that since 1989, probably.
I had a California Raisin shirt like everybody else had. I mean, that was a great time because all these people were starting to wear characters from commercials.
Spuds, pop culture.
Yeah.
T-shirts. Yeah. Where's the beef and all that stuff. Yeah.
Clara Peller. Yeah. Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Every time I think about that now, I think about The Simpsons.
Mondale to Hart. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
There's an episode where there's an ad agency, and it's so quick that only people who grew up watching TV would get it, but it was called McMahon and Tate Ad Agency. And McMahon and Tate Ad Agency is where Darren worked on Bewitched.
Bewitched. Oh, my God. Wow. That one slipped by me.
Dun, 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 dun.
Is it Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie?
That was I Dream of Jeannie, wasn't it? I know.
Close. Yeah.
For a second, I thought it was a little sample of My Three Sons in there, but it wasn't. Gosh, how do you know that theme? Jesus.
Nick at Night.
Oh, yeah, Nick at
Night. And TBS would show reruns in the morning if you stayed home from school sick. Watch that. The Price is Right.
Izzy, I love that you said Price is Right. It was like no matter what you watched early in the morning when you stayed home from school, at 11, where I grew up, it was like time for Price is Right.
Yep. Yeah.
And now he lives on forever thanks to Sora 2.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that.
There's tons of these AI slap
videos.
Bob Barker AI videos.
Yeah, they open. Yeah, he turns around, opens the door, and it's always something like a spaceship. Or
yeah. I met him at a game show convention that I was invited to, and he was there. So I got a picture of him and talked to him for a couple minutes. He couldn't have been nicer. And you're just like, holy crap, Bob Barker. He was just the best. And I went and saw The Price is Right. There's an effects guy that works for Greg, Gino Crognoli, makeup effects guy, who's done all of The Walking Dead, any production Greg's probably done in the last 30 years. And I went to The Price is Right. I was living in L.A., and my friend Tammy Crognoli was a flight attendant for U.S. Airways. She came out, and she goes, let's go to Price is Right. So I took her, and she got up on stage, and she got the 7 chances to try to win a car. And she would look at me like 4 times. I didn't know. So she never even got a chance to win the car because we blew it on the first 6. She blew it on the first 6. But I introduced her to Gino, and they got married. So,
oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we grew up at really the apex of game shows. You know, I would sit with my granddad. I mean, a lot of them I would just sit and watch with my granddad, and he loved them. Of course, Price is Right being one of them. Sale of the Century.
I was going to say that one. Joker's Wild, Sale of the Century, all of that stuff.
Pressure Luck.
Yep, Pressure Luck, which Pressure Luck, I did all the warm-up for the latest network with Elizabeth Banks. But, game shows were always a big thing. So when I moved to L.A. and I was looking to make money, and the game show Debt with Wink Martindale, DEBT, you had to prove you were in debt. So I heard about the audition. I go in, I take the test. I got 50 out of 50. The woman's like, you're on the show. I was like, woohoo.
Nice.
So I had to give them 3 areas of expertise for the final question that you could double your money So mine were the movies of Michael Keaton, the Pittsburgh Pirates of 1992,
Whoa.
the music of Billy Joel. So I had won $7,000, and then it was like you could go double or nothing. And the only one I told Greg before I left the house, I was living with Greg, I go, all right, I don't know. The Keaton one, they might throw a character name I might not know. The Pirates, I don't know. I said, if they give me music of Billy Joel, I'm going for it. So Wink's like, all right, your area of expertise question for $14,000, the music of Billy Joel, and we'll see if he's going for it. So they give you the commercial break to think about it. I'm like, I'm going. And then I got the question and I doubled, and I got a check for $14,106.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was the money I gave. Greg put it in the bank, and he would kind of put me on a little stipend. I need 400. But that was the money I lived off of for like 2 or 3 years. My name got passed around to other game show companies. He's a good contestant. They'd bring you in and give you like $50 to be a run-through contestant. So I was obsessed with game shows. Then I started writing. Then I was hired to produce the pilot for Street Smarts, and they needed test footage, and they sent me out to do it. And Warner Brothers was like, "This is the guy. We're gonna give it to him." So it was like right place at the right time. So I had such a wide knowledge of game shows and trivia, and it worked out. So that so people like other comics go, "Hey, how do you get to where you got?" And I'm like, dude, I did the weirdest path. I was doing stand-up, but game shows got me on TV, and then I got a game show, and that doesn't happen often. So it was weird.
So did that help with the game show reality aspect of Guts to Glory?
Yeah, absolutely. Because Greg had, what was the guy's name? The game show guy, the guy who would come in really good. He came up with all the challenges with Greg, but kind of neat. I actually ended up producing a lot of that, helping out. So I was playing Frank, the producer, but I was actually helping Greg do whatever he needed on the game stuff. Like, hey, we got to make sure this is fair and that's fair. So I think that really came invaluable, and Greg loved that. He's like, I'm glad you're here to help me with the game stuff, because that was all new to him, And the crew was all Walking Dead crew. Crew was all film. And from the TV world, different terminology on set. And JJ, the assistant director of this show and of all the Walking Deads with Greg, I'd say something, me and the guy, the coordinator. What was the game show guy's name, Josh? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I know you're talking about that.
We'd say a couple things, and JJ would be like, what is that? Yeah, he's one of the co-EPs, too. I think a stop down was something he didn't really know. He goes, I don't know this TV lingo or the reality lingo or game show lingo. He wasn't familiar with. So, I think it helped.
I want to hear about the weird dynamics between the film people and the TV.
Stuff like Hard Ice. Like, they had real weird sayings where I was like, why don't you just say quiet?
Yeah. Quiet on set.
And well, that also could be the Canadian thing. That might have been, maybe they just love ice up there so much. But also another thing that was weird was the Greg and the crew didn't understand how much of the confessionals they had to do with you guys. Like, they wanted to like do something, and they're like, no, Josh is over, doing the reality stuff. And they overshot you guys so much. I don't know if Josh's mouth agape or he froze. But they shot so much with them because they have to. They're putting together a story. But Greg and JJ would always be like, are they still interviewing Josh? Where's Julian? Where's Alexis? They're like, they're still over there with them. And they had to wait. They're like, I guess.
And the crazy thing was these interviews are like at 5 a.m. or whatever. And then they have you up there for 20 minutes, and then what's used is being like, well, I don't know if I said the right thing.
You gotta overshoot. Hard ice. Yeah. It was.
How long did it take for filming?
Like a week for the actual show.
Okay.
And then we, aside from, the fun part was everybody getting on that bus. Before we met the contestants, we had to travel out to Alabama.
Yeah. They put us on a bus. Yeah.
And we went on an adventure. And at one point in time, Captain Hard Ice was like, we're in the bus for like hours going to Alabama and cutting up and having a good time talking, and then we get to the hotel, and they're like, well, we can't check in. Like, check-in's not for another 4 hours or something like that.
We got there.
And they're like, Frank, make sure they just stay in this parking lot and they're not allowed to leave the bus.
Yeah, I was like, no way. So we got to the hotel in Alabama. It was like an hour and a half drive from Atlanta. And that's where the contestants were coming in. Because if you watch the premiere, they're all like, we're in Alabama, we're in the deep woods. So we take the bus up from Atlanta at like 8 or 9 in the morning. And no one thought to like say, hey, early check-in or book that night before. So we get there, they're like, the rooms aren't going to be available till 3, but they're going to try to rush it. So we had like 6, it was like 4 to 6 hours. And I'm like, fuck, we're going to Waffle House. I'm like, take the bus. And the kid who drove the bus, the guy who played the bus driver was actually a legit bus driver and also has the world record for driving in reverse in a circle at high speeds. It's on the Guinness Book of World Record. That's why we felt safe with him backing that bus on that berm. Which, if he did it wrong, we would have fell in the lake where they saw the largest water snakes ever. That was the opening thing, the bus. But we got to Waffle House. We ate there. Then we're like, well, we can't go back. So we ended up we went on a little tour of that little small town in Alabama and just messed around and hung out and got to know each other. But it was a good time. I mean, I think it actually helped you guys bond a lot, too, and me, because we just had all this time. And then they slowly trickled us into the hotel. They're like, all right, we got 1 or 2 rooms, and we'll sneak people in and got everybody into their rooms because the next morning we all went down to the lobby. In the opening episode where you see me taking their phones at the bus as they got on, we actually filmed me and all of them in the lobby coming through and meeting him and saying hi. And that was another thing, like when Josh or Julia come by and I had to act like I was meeting them for the first time. Even though none of the contestants were around, we were just, doing that. But out at the bus, when I had to take their phones, I mean, I know some of them were like, how are we going to do this? I mean, they lived without phones for a week, right? I mean,
God, that's tough.
I mean, I remember an era without cell phones.
Yeah.
Like Julia was like, I think I'm having blue light withdrawals. I need a hit like the entire time.
Yeah, she had a rough time. She was literally the one who was freaked out the most.
That's the blonde. The blonde.
Freedom.
Yeah. The blonde. The one
that found Julian's body in the tree.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Spoiler, in case you haven't seen it.
That's the first episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoiler already happened when fan favorite me died.
We were hoping that you would come back. Like Al was like, okay. Like, I'm mad that Josh is dead, but maybe he's going to come back as the undead because of his bad incantation.
Well, maybe you could come back for season 2. Do you think there's any chance of that happening?
I don't, Frank.
Well, I said to Greg, I go, have we thought about, is there a way to do a season 2? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, because I didn't get killed. He goes, shit, that means I'm going to have to bring you back somehow. I'm like, because a lot of, when you guys were in the house, and I know you had those little cameras where you guys shot a ton of footage. That's a whole other show that they could have cut together from the footage you guys shot with your little...
Those, all the bits and whatnots that happened in that house were ridiculous. At one point in time, we were filming like a little sketch in the basement. I'd love to see some of that footage.
Yes.
Like, I go to sit down in a chair and it literally broke out from under me. Footage of that on the video. And then we set it up again and somebody else sat in it and broke on them.
I never saw the house. I wanted to go so bad. Obviously, I couldn't.
The house was nice.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was better than the tents you guys were in. That's for sure.
Well, I got a whole basement to myself.
Oh, that's right. You were in the basement.
You told me about that on the phone because you have sleep apnea.
Yeah. So they thought there was a bear invading the camp the first time. I was like, and then they were like, we're going to put Josh in the basement. And I was like, this is perfect. I got my own balcony. Like, I'd go outside. I was smoking cigarettes at the time. I was just like, oh, yeah, this is great.
This is the laugh. And they were doing drawings and sketches like how cops have red string tying everything together. They had one where they thought I was the killer. It was going to turn out, they're like, Frank's the killer. Every time Frank shows up, someone gets murdered. He's the one who's killing everybody. I'm like, I'm not the killer.
I started getting them all going, Frank ate everybody.
I talked to Colby today, and that's what he wanted me to say. Frank ate everybody.
They kept saying that, and I'm like, okay, sure.
I was trying to throw as many MacGuffins and red herrings in as I possibly could. I was like, you sure it's not the bus driver? What about the guy who stayed overnight with us in the camp?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like some random PA, and then I was like, Frank killed that PA.
That was fun. Like y'all had a really fun time.
Yeah, it was great. It was
great. And again,
going to camp.
Yeah, the week leading up to we actually shot the first day, you know, we came in and we all met on a Monday. And we all hung out, and, you know, we were staying in the same hotel where you were living local, right? So you were, I forget who was in the hotel with me, but most of the production was, so, you know, we got to know everybody. And then it was like, all right, let's put on this secret show where we can't act like we know each other after we've had some good laughs and stuff. So it was an experiment for sure. It was so much fun, though. It was a lot.
We basically like set our goodbyes on like the last day of rehearsal. We're like, all right, well,
see ya.
I guess I'll see you in a couple days, but
I'll see you, but I can't talk to you.
Right. Jeff, you got
I hope they do a season 2. It can't have cost that much money for Shudder to produce that show.
Yeah, Greg kept it. Yeah, they were happy, and then they got a tax break. So yeah, let's do it again.
How do I work my way in there?
Once we hear a green light, we'll hit you up, Lizzie.
All right.
You get everything from our guest. You're going to get on the show. You got some free bras from Rhonda Shear.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right? Isn't she bringing her show back? Or
yeah,
she did already. Yeah.
Okay.
So does she make ornate bras or something? What's going on with that?
She's got a whole.
She got a whole comfortable bras.
I mean, she's a millionaire just off the lingerie line she sold.
Yeah.
She's a smart business person.
Yeah.
She was so nice. I was talking about the picture that we took at the Punchline and how weird my boobs looked in it. And she's like, you don't have the right bra. I'm going to send you a nice gift box. And she did. She sent me all kinds of bras and underwear and everything. It was really nice of her.
Josh, we need a line of sleep apnea CPAP machine.
You need to get Greg to like design like some funky mask.
It looks like
an alien face sucker or something.
The Guts and Gloria mask.
Yeah,
I mean that's a cool idea, Dustin.
Like Josh's face been cut off, and you can just like.
What if it's just one of my own face?
Yeah. Just like right around the edges.
I'm buying that one just for the hell.
Like we're wearing a Josh skin suit.
Yeah, like a Josh skin suit.
I want one of those. Can I have a Josh skin suit?
To just walk around downtown and let AI pick up your face as Josh. He's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Rob a bank.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
No, I'm not going to do it. The people with my skin suit are going to do it.
Oh, okay. You need a great skin suit. Did you do your Trump impression for anybody?
No, I don't think I did my Donald Trump while on set there. I may have, though. Because I just slip in and out of it sometimes. A lot of big ones. The shutdown's over.
Well, Josh, you know that he's an old man now, so he's a lot more lately. It's a lot easier for me to do him on the radio show because, it's just talking about... Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I made $3 billion since I got back in office. Isn't that amazing? It's, do you need a pardon? Do you need anybody?
That's the best thing I've heard.
Josh, you have to give out your Instagram of your drawings.
Josh's drawings.
Yeah, okay, good.
I haven't done it. I haven't drawn in a while.
I haven't seen one in a while, but I remember you doing them on set, like showing. They were so good.
I was trying to give myself something to do so I wouldn't blow my cover.
You mean nobody said, oh my God, that's Josh from Josh's drawings?
Like, wait a minute.
Drawings.
That guy's a social media influencer with 61 followers.
I saw you in a television show. Weren't you in Footloose too?
Weren't you giving out drugs in Footloose?
Yeah.
Dude, Footloose harder.
You were in Righteous Gemstones.
I'd love to do a spinoff of Footloose with my character, Rich Christopher, and where he is now at 45.
Let's write it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's write it.
And now
I'm the mayor of that city now.
Okay. What did you ban that kids today like? 6, 7, right?
Yeah, 6, 7.
No, 6, 7.
phones and cell phones.
What is this part of that?
I told you, Josh, like a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Because Josh was like, what do you mean 6-7? I'm like, you're going to see it everywhere. Trust me. And it is. Even the guy, but the homeschool kids today, we went on a field trip. And I'm like, this isn't supposed to touch y'all. Why are you guys all saying 6-7? Stop.
Insane.
You know, it hits pop culture zeitgeist when South Park makes it a whole episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They already do it on 6-7?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Guys turn it around so fast.
6-7. And like Garmin would just find terrible ways to get it out of people. Like, you know, I went like, how many chicken wings am I going to get, man? 6, sweetie, 6 or 7. 6-7.
Now I know what I'm watching tonight.
You probably been to Greg's restaurant in Sonoy, yeah?
I hadn't been until one day before we started shooting. I think it was the day before we started shooting. We went and I had a burger and it was delicious. Yeah. Fun.
I've been there a couple of times. It's
restaurant down by
Nick and Norman down where they film Walking Dead.
Oh, I've been there.
I'm gonna go there. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was good. We had a really good burger, and I forget what we had as hors d'oeuvre. And we got a meal comped, which was...
And Rooker is opening a sushi restaurant down there.
Oh, wow.
I met him when we did the commercial with Greg. Did I tell you all about that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that commercial was great.
The one you just did, right?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
He drives up and he's just like drives by and flicks me and Cooper off. And I was like, who was that? And Cooper was like, it's Rook. And he just starts walking over there. And I'm like, okay, because like we're in the middle of a parking lot. I was like, I guess I'll walk over there too. Of course, didn't interrupt them speaking to each other. I was like, excuse me, sir. I just want to let you know that I was like, I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but I'm a real big fan of yours. And he was like, well, you sound like a big douchebag.
You know where I met him? There's a gun range. I went skeet shooting with a buddy in L.A., and Michael Rooker was there. And I told Greg that story, and I think Michael Rooker owns it.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
in L.A.?
Yeah. It's like up in the forest. I've never shot skeet before, but he was that was good.
A couple of years ago, well, this is 11 years ago. That's a picture of me and him. He was here for a convention, and we hung out all afternoon because I was with a different radio station. We did that kind of thing, and then he and our board op, who is a girl, they went out, and he called me. I don't know how he got my number. He goes, "Hey man, come on, we're going to the Big Pony." And well, I have to get up at 3. He goes, well, don't go to bed. Come on. So I said I would go, and then I never went because I'm tired.
Tim Andrews isn't welcome at my sushi restaurant now.
I thought you were talking about Michael Rooker. Who were you talking about?
Yeah, that's what
he was talking about.
Oh, you were? That didn't look like him in the picture.
Well, that's like 15 years ago or 12 years ago.
All right.
He's got on glasses and a hat.
Yeah. He told us about a sushi restaurant. Then when he was just hanging out on the set, like they gave me these shoes that were like 4 times too small for me.
Yeah.
So like my big toes felt like they were broken after I took them off. So like
why did they give you such small shoes?
I don't know. I was just like, oh yeah, they're fine. And
I'm gonna be big wall.
I'm walking back down to the set because I was like, fuck it, they'll never see my shoes, and I'm doing a different bit later anyway. And Rucker's down at the bottom of the hill going,
you're like,
all right.
And so I started like moving a little faster. And he was like, I was just fucking with you. You're supposed to be on set right now. They held up all that production. And then as he goes to leave, he puts his arms around me and Cooper, and he's like, well, boys, it's been fun. I was like, man, this guy is awesome. I've met the coolest people through Greg Nicotero. You were one of them, Frank.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. I agree. You too.
And now before we let you go, plug all your socials and whatnot.
I'm at Frank Nicotero on all social medias and OnlyFans. It's you can say I'm doing a sports gambling podcast, webcast, I guess it's called, for a company, Kenny White Sports, but doing a lot of stand up, booked at all the clubs out here, and we'll work my way back east eventually to do some more shows.
I've been watching your. Oh, sorry, Josh.
I was going to say, is your only fan Frank Speak?
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah, Frank Speak. I'm already subscribed to it.
Okay. Josh, send me the link.
What were you saying, Lizzie?
I was saying I've been watching his stand-up on YouTube ever since I was, because I heard you did a lot of stand-up, and I was like, oh, I probably know him from other than the show. And yeah, I've been watching it. Funny. You've got
been around a while. So yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that from the videos. So
many different haircuts and shirts.
You look great for a man that's 85 years old.
It's amazing. I just got a haircut, so I look good. And I'm wearing my progressives. Those don't make me how thick these things are.
Your bifocals.
Aren't they fun?
Well, we call them progressives nowadays, Josh. You'll find out someday.
You gonna do anything in Atlanta?
The Punchline. I know Chris DePetta there. I haven't talked to him. I should. I used to play in Buckhead all the time back in the day when I was on the road a lot at the Funny Bone. Then it turned into an improv, and I just haven't been back to Atlanta in a long time. So I should set something up there.
Well, we'll get you down here if you want to come be a part of my show. December 13th, I'm having a holiday party afterwards at the Limelight Theater.
You're doing a Limelight. Are you doing improv at the Limelight?
We haven't figured out. It's going to be like some singing, some dancing, some improv, some sketches, maybe.
Do you need me to dance or anything?
Yeah. If you want to come, as a Nutcracker ballerina, that'd be great. It's all holiday themed, Liz.
Santa Josh.
That sounds fun.
All right, Josh, plug ass.
At Action Show Studios on every form of social media. And then our show is going to be at Limelight Theater. More information to come through Action Show 1 and Action Show Studios.
My girlfriend just wants to say that Josh was her favorite.
Oh, thank you.
Josh, you were my favorite the entire show.
There you go.
So far.
Yeah. And I told her many stories about you and everything.
It's like, well, you were there like the whole time.
Yeah,
so.
We had a good time.
If it wasn't for Frank being there, I would have died a lot earlier.
Frank, come back on and talk game shows and television and movies and stuff with us anytime, please.
Hey, listen, I had a blast. Anytime, man. You guys have my number. Hit me up anytime.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Will do. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you all. Hope
nice
to see
meeting you
someday. Thanks, everybody.
Radio Labyrinth has sponsors. In fact, we have two delightful sponsors I'd like to tell you about right now. The first one being our longest sponsor, Atlanta Pizza in Euro in Conyers, proudly serving the East Metro Atlanta area for over 40 years. Atlanta Pizza in Euro is the place to be, proudly serving you the best pizza and gyros in the city. They're the place to be this fall. They have a huge selection of local Georgia and Southeast craft beers on tap, as well as many others available in bottles and cans. Their featured selection for fall is Scofflaw Brewing's Oktoberfest. Come out and enjoy a tasty ice-cold brew and some fantastic food made fresh to order, and I can attest to that. Their food is amazing. I'm talking about some of the best gyros, pizzas, hot subs, and Greek and Italian specialties around. Stop by Monday through Friday from 11 to 9 p.m. and Saturdays from noon to 9 p.m. And they are closed on Sundays. Tuesday nights, they have team trivia, and that's always fun from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Their food truck is also available. So if you're interested, call Mike at 770-483-6228 for more details or to schedule your private or corporate event. And Mike says, thanks for listening to the best podcast around. Thank you, Mike. And for all your business and continued support. We're also brought to you by LDI Repro Printing. Do you have a commercial or residential construction printing need? Sure, we all do. Well, what are you waiting for? Contact LDI Repro Printing of Athens. They've been in Athens, Georgia since 2005, which, if you're like me and good at math, is 20 years. With fast turnaround and affordable prices, call 706-316-9366, or you can email them at athens@ldiline.com.
Guys, are you reading the online comments?
Gotta read some of these comments.
I'm loving your guys' comments.
You're reading your own comments?
Yeah, they're really good. I worked hard on them.
The secret is, don't read the comment cards.
Hey, we got a bunch of comments, well, for us, on our YouTube page. And as always, good job on the show there, Dustin. We talked about AI and Sora 2, and it looks like Jeff wins because everybody hates AI. I'm making some fun things with it right now. Anyway, Mike Hall, who, by the way, we have an announcement. He joined us last week for Radios in the Dark, which we're not doing this week, but will return next week, and we will bring another Radio Labyrinth producer if they would like to come on. But Mike Hall joined us. We are going to be doing a live get-together at Atlanta Pizza in Euro in Conyers on December 7th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Bring a dessert. More information will be on our Facebook page, both the main page and the Radio Shack. So be on the lookout for that. And more information to come. But save the date. You can come by. I've asked a couple of people, and we should invite Josh too, but that's his birthday. All right. So Mike Hall said on our YouTube, in our YouTube comments, fun episode. Thanks for having me on the live show, which you have to be a Patreon to get, and more on that later. Aldi has good natural peanut butter. I'm with Jeff. AI is messed up, although it can be funny. The Elvis kid was creepy but absurd. Dustin, is there a place to view the Dungeon Crawler Carl Sora videos you created? They look interesting.
Well, actually,
you can just share them with him.
I'm just going to share them with you. I'll share them with you.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you could see him on Sora if you were on Sora, but yeah, I'm trying not to push those out too much. It's just I don't want to cause any waves. Matt Denneman really hates AI.
Yeah, so. Careful with that then.
Yeah.
Roby says, I'm with Jeff. AI isn't funny. I instantly skip any video that I perceive as AI generated trying to pass off as real. I do that too. If I know it's AI, I might watch it. Like the ones with dogs rescuing babies. It's already annoying how many contrived and staged videos we see on TikTok, Reels, and YouTube. I can't disagree with that. Keep them all in one place. Plus, I'm getting really annoyed at YouTube AI enhancing shorts until they look cartoony and like they've been filed with poor art filter. Get out of my brain, Roby. We are the same. This comes from Fuxi, who is an artist and a cartoonist. He says, AI isn't creative. It's merely telling the machine what to look for on the web so it knows what to steal to create your Mad Lib. That's good. That's good. But this is what people want in order for us to get the holodeck, so enjoy the slide of mediocrity. I want the holodeck, but without guardrails. I mean, well, certain ones. Anyway, I know I sound bitter. Let's see. Alan says, Jeff, I feel your pain. Didn't realize we were getting insurance subsidies for our crappy plan. Family of 4 plan is going from $2,000 a month to... Did we get political and talk about healthcare? From $2,000 to $3,000. Our individual deductibles are $6,500 per person. Something has got to give. That's right. Viva la revolucion.
Yes.
I'm serious. And Brett Perkins said, my non-staff pick is The Once We Were Spacemen podcast.
I tried to watch that today on YouTube, and it's not video.
No, it's
just an audio podcast on YouTube. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and watch an audio podcast. I'll listen to it on my phone.
Yeah, it's Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about
Firefly.
Firefly, yeah. Mostly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so don't forget, Atlanta Pizza in Euro, Sunday, December 7th from 1 to 4. I'll have to bring Gil with me so you can meet him if that's enticing to you.
I should bring Al.
Yeah, bring Al.
Yeah, for sure.
Gil's going to be there, yeah. Can entertain each other.
If Tim Allen comes, he'll probably bring his kids.
Yeah. His kids are teenagers now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be nice to see them, play guitar and stuff. All right. Let's see. Hey, check out the podcast, wherever you find them. The Tim Andrews Popcast show. I interviewed Jeff Pearlman. I fucked up and I didn't save the video file. I was going to put it out. But he was great, and I really enjoyed it. So you can get that podcast, the full unedited interview. We make fun of John Rocker and a bunch of other people, but mostly talk about his Tupac book, which was really good, and the 1986 Mets. And I'm going to have to do a deep dive into his books. So check it out. Radio Labyrinth listeners and viewers, of course, if you're watching the YouTube channel, your radios collectively. Listen up. You can support Radio Labyrinth for the low cost of only $5 a month. That's it. Moving forward, That's the only tier aside from the executive producer tier, but more on that later. If you're paying more and would like to reduce it, please feel free. Tariffs are hitting us hard, yo. And for anyone on the fence or looking to support us, make sure you add your address to your Patreon profile, so once we're notified, you'll receive a thank you and our latest sticker. Current Patreon members, be on the lookout for yours. And for the executive producer position, we'd love for you to join us as guests on Radios in the Dark. That's our weekly live show that we do after we record the main show. And it's for Patreon users, but we want your input. We want you on there. Not all at once, but it is your show. You're producing it, so help us keep it going with your generous donations, and we'd love to have you on the Patreon show. For $25 a month, you'll receive the title of executive producer. You'll get a sticker, a shirt of your choice from our merch store, and a weekly shout out on the show. Plus, the aforementioned opportunity to sit in with us while we record the live Patreon show. And while we're at it, let's thank those executive producers, including our brand new one that I just got about 10 minutes ago. Scott, I dreamed I saw St. Augustine, Scott Augustine. And now let's thank our long-running executive producers, Mike Walker, John, not Joan, Alan, Matt the Man Carter, Chris, former Falcons quarterback, no, Chandler, Mike D, Jim, Couchfort Fortner, Terry likes Tim's stupid coffee mug Fuller, Roby not Robbie Neely, Jumpin' Jeff Peterson, Tim the best first name Slayton, and Brian and DJ Chelsea Smith. Let's see. Remember to rate and review us. I guess that's it. Thanks to our guests, Josh Warren and Frank Nicotero. Everybody go watch Guts and Glory. And remember to
keep it canon.
Canon.
They say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Lost in the radio.